get questions from buyers asking whether it's better to buy an existing home or if it's a better option to look into having a home built. The answer, of course, is it depends. I'm Jenny Hendricks at Century 21 Prestige Realty, and let's talk about what might be a better fit, buying an existing home or having a home built. So, of course, every buyer is in a different situation, and there are reasons that one might be a better fit for some folks, and the other one, a better fit for other buyers. So let's talk about the pros and cons of each. There are two primary advantages to buying an existing home: convenience, of course, and cost. So once you're pre-approved with your lender, you can shop around, pick out a home that looks like it will be a good fit, and make an offer. Once you have an offer that is accepted, you might be able to close on that deal and move in within maybe 30 to 60 days, depending on circumstances and what's best for the seller and buyer and what you negotiate. Even though the process does involve a few steps, financing, due diligence, inspections, etc., the convenience of being able to move in sooner is a compelling reason a lot of people find that buying an existing home is a better fit. The need to buy a move-in ready home might be especially true for buyers who are on a tight schedule. Maybe you're relocating for work, you've got kids who you want to start at a particular school. So there's a lot of reasons that buying an existing home is better for some folks. And of course, then there's cost. In many cases, it's going to be less expensive to buy an existing home. And this is according to data from the National Association of Home Builders. So the home builders are even saying sometimes it's going to be more cost efficient to buy something that is already existing. Depending on your target real estate market, prices for existing homes are probably going to be more favorable than new construction, given the recent increases in materials and building costs. Another reason for buying an existing home is if you want to be in a particular neighborhood that is already established. And another benefit I think that sometimes gets overlooked is the convenience of having landscaping and a yard that is already in place and mature. You don't have to worry about putting in a lawn, waiting for your trees and your shrubs to grow. So that's something, maybe to think about in your calculation there. On the flip side, the most significant disadvantage to buying an existing home is that sometimes you have to make some compromises on what you really want in a property. You may not be in love with the floor plan. You may wish that the half bath on the main floor was a full bath instead, or something like that. It may be challenging to find a home that is in perfect condition if you are looking at buying something existing. You need to factor in any costs of updating or renovating once you get in. If you are building a new home, of course, you can customize it however you wish. So there's some things to think about there. If you are on a specific timetable, then buying an existing home versus building is maybe a safer choice for you. Something else to think about: older homes in particular might be functionally obsolete. Maybe the floor plan is choppier than you would like. The rooms are more cut up. It's not got an open floor plan. Whatever it is that you're looking for. Sometimes you have to look at customizing an existing home, so factor in those costs. Let's talk about some advantages of building a new home. So building a new home doesn't necessarily offer the same convenience that buying something existing would. You've got to find your lot, you have to go out and find your land, and you also have to factor in the time to find an architect, get your plans drawn, designed, and choosing every element of a new construction home. For some people is very exciting. For some people it can be a little overwhelming. So make sure that you are prepared for that. You also need to take a look at your budget. You can limit the risk that your house will go over budget by working with a reputable builder who has great references and having a good contract in place. Something to think about too, rather than picking out a lot and finding a builder, having the plans designed and drawn, if you can find a new construction subdivision, something where the builder is offering maybe a handful of different floor plans that you can customize and maybe do some different upgrades. That way you don't have to start exactly from scratch, but you still get a lot of input into the process. Of course, a big advantage to building is that you're going to probably get much more of what you want. And for many people, this factor alone is enough to choose building over buying existing. It's interesting because, costs and costs aside, building a home really can lead to a level of satisfaction that maybe you don't find in buying something existing, because you are really able to infuse this home with your personality, your style, and get a product that is really exactly what you wanted and is reflective of what you and your family want to live in. One of the biggest risks of building a house does tend to be those higher costs, longer time frame, and both of which can increase during the course of construction. So again, have your builder provide you with references and talk to some past homeowners that they have built with. Make sure that you have a really high confidence level that you're going to be able to work well with that particular builder. The other thing that's really important is to make sure you really have a good understanding of your contract. What happens if there are cost overruns? Can you upgrade if you want to? What happens if the cost of materials goes up after you've signed the contract, which is happening sometimes in the market that we're in. So have those conversations with your builder up front. Make sure you've got a really good understanding and a really good rapport with your builder, so you can have those conversations if there does happen to be a hiccup along the way. Another good idea is to, in order to stay on schedule, make sure that you've got a really solid time frame that's in the contract with your builder. You want to know exactly where you should be in that process. And if you are out of the area, make sure that your builder is keeping you up to date with the progress. Hopefully you'll be receiving photos of the progress as it is happening. That's actually pretty exciting to see, from the excavation to, when the framing goes in to when the exterior is completed. It's really a cool process to watch. Find out who your main point of contact is going to be with the builder. Is it the actual general contractor? Does that company have an employee that you're going to be able to talk with? You want to know that if you have a question or a concern, you're going to be able to talk to someone who's going to answer their phone and kind of help you through that process. So the bottom line is, if you begin your home search and you are set on finding that perfect existing property, you may end up later deciding that building from the ground up is the right thing to do for you. Conversely, you may set out wanting to build a home, and through that course of exploration and finding out what the costs are and finding the lot and getting the plans drawn and everything, you might end up deciding that buying something existing is a better fit for you. In either case, working with a qualified and experienced professional is going to help make your process a lot smoother. So let me know if you have questions on building versus buying. It's a fun process, and I would love to be a resource for you either way. I'm Jenny Hendricks at Century 21 Prestige Realty. We'll see you soon.